Hello everyone, pupils at Vittra Södermalm. This is Tommy, and the following presentation about sleep is part of your homework in English that should be handed in before week 47. So in this presentation you will find the answers to the questions that I handed out to you during class. If you for some reason have lost this paper, the questions, you will find them on Schoolsoft. Now let's get started. So, if we would live for 100 years, we would have slept for about 30 years. 30 years of our lives we spend sleeping. A third of our lives we spend sleeping. Well, the question why we sleep is actually, no one is certain. No one is completely sure why we sleep, but scientists, they do have some good ideas. One of these ideas is inactivity theory. Inactivity theory is about, well, it's an evolutionary theory. So it has to do with evolution, as I'm sure you have heard about. Basically what it says is that a long time ago, for the animals who are our ancestors, according to evolution, during night, those who went out without being able to see properly, it was dark and a lot of predators hunted in the night. So if animals went out, they would die, basically. They would get eaten, or they would fall because they couldn't see properly. So basically what this theory says is that it was a good thing to be indoors or inside the cave. It would have been a good thing not to go out. It would have been a good thing to be asleep and still and quiet in the night. This theory is a bit problematic because, wouldn't it have been a lot better, many people have asked, if we were not unconscious, if we were inactive but conscious, still, aware of our surroundings? Because when we sleep, we are not. We are unconscious. We have no idea what's going on around us. So if a predator would have found us, we would have been helpless. Alright, let's move on to the next theory, which is energy conservation theory. This is more logical, I think. Scientists say that, or the person who came up with this theory said that maybe we sleep because our bodies, they need to save energy, because a long time ago it was not as easy to find food as it is today, and it would have been a good thing to, during a portion of the day, stay still and not move, basically, to save energy. Theory number 3, restoration theory. It's about restoration, basically. And restoration means återskapande, återskapning. And this theory is about that when we sleep, our bodies build themselves, basically. I'm gonna get back to this in a minute, in more detail. Theory number 4 is brain plasticity theory. And this theory is basically about learning. Restoration theory. Well, as it turns out, during sleep we have found that the body, it builds proteins. Proteins are the building blocks of muscles. And so it builds proteins, it builds muscles. So if you work out, for example, you will need to sleep more. And it also, the body, when we sleep, it repairs tissue. Tissue is vävnad, so like your skin, for example. Anyway, so this is pretty cool, actually, that the body is at work. Even though you are somewhere far off in a dreamland, your body works hard building your body when you sleep. And it also recharges its immune function. Well, basically that's why when you're ill, you want to sleep. Because when you sleep, the body recharges its immune function. Immune function is immunförsvar. Alright. And brain plasticity theory. Brain plasticity means basically that hjärnformbarhet, like it says in the title. And what does that mean is the question. Well, thoughts are basically patterns in our brain of neural pathways. As you can see here, this is an image of neural pathways, of how it looks in your brain. And thoughts are patterns of, because these pathways, this web, it grows as we think. When we think something, if we think it over and over and over again, we will change this pattern. We will create patterns of neural pathways, which is pretty cool, I think. And these neural pathways, we have electricity flowing, and well, we're not going to get into this any deeper now, but anyway, when you think, you rewire, drar om ledningar kan man säga. You rewire your neural pathways in your brain, and that's how we learn, basically. We change our brain when we think something over and over again, and then it gets easier to think this. For example, if we're going to learn how to multiply in mathematics, it gets easier and easier, and that's because when you do it over and over again, your brain changes. Yeah, learning changes the brain, and sleep strengthens these patterns that you create when you learn. And this is a major reason for why we sleep. Lack of sleep during adolescence. Adolescence means ungdom. So lack of sleep during adolescence means brist på sömn under ungdomsåren, kan man säga. Anyway, we have in us a sort of a biological clock, because our body knows when during the day it's suitable to feel tired. For example, if you have stayed up all night, you may have noticed that around 3 o'clock at night you get really tired, and then at 4 you want to go to sleep. But then again at 7 maybe, when you were supposed to wake up, if you would have slept, then you get a spike of energy again. So then for a couple of hours, maybe you don't feel very tired, but then of course you will crash later on. But that's another question. But this is just to exemplify that our body knows when it's supposed to be tired and when it's supposed to get energized. So the thing with this sleeping cycle is that it changes. During our lives it changes. And one such change has occurred in your lives recently. En sån förändring har hänt i ert liv nyligen. And this change is that your optimal sleep has been pushed later into the evening. So what I'm saying here is that your biology tells you when you're supposed to be tired, and this doesn't happen until later in the evening. If you would compare to older people, this creates a conflict between what we can call social time and biological time. Biological time is what your body tells you about when you should be tired, when you should be awake. Social time is what society tells you. For example, what school tells you about when you should be awake, when you should be asleep. So the conflict here is that social time and biological time, they say two different things. Your body tells you that you should be awake for longer in the evenings and sleep longer in the morning, whereas school tells you, society tells you, that you should go to sleep earlier in the evening and wake up earlier in the morning. So here's the problem. Alright, let's move on. This conflict often leads to what we call sleep deprivation. And this is sleep deprivation means sömnbrist. Sleep, sömn, deprivation, brist. And this is actually something pretty serious. Sleep deprivation could cause concentration problems. It causes irritability, anger, bad memory, depression, slow muscle growth, impaired immune function, bad judgment, impulsivity, increased hunger and weight gain, lack of social ability, lack of creativity. So this list is pretty gruesome, actually. I don't know if you noticed, but often young people like yourselves are accused of being irritated and angry, having concentration problems, bad judgment and impulsivity. And do you think that maybe this could have more to do with lacking sleep, missing sleep, than it has to do with being young? I don't know, maybe. Anyway, let's move on. Sleeping well, on the other hand, leads to basically the opposite of bad sleep, of course. You concentrate easily when you sleep well. You're more creative. You come up with good ideas. And your social ability is high. You can communicate well with other people. And you are likable. Other people tend to like you. And you have a good memory. You remember stuff, basically. And you learn easy. Your immune functions well. You don't get sick very often. And when you do get sick, your body takes care of it. Sleeping well also leads to a good mood in general, and so on. This list could go on and on. There are so many benefits with sleeping well. And for how long should you sleep? I'm sure you've heard a lot of different answers to this question, but generally it is said that during adolescence you should sleep about 8 to 10 hours, which is quite a long time. And most of us, I would say, sleep too little. We sleep too little, but knowing what we know now about sleep, it's easy to see that we do benefit from making the effort to sleep well can really benefit us. So how to sleep better? One thing is, I'm just going to name a few strategies now. There are many out there. One is to mind the light. Late in the evening, don't look at bright screens or bright lights, because this is a way of telling your biological clock that we talked about that now it's time to wake up because the sun is rising, but it's not. It's time to go to bed. Another thing to think about is exercise. Exercise is really good for a good night's sleep. And food. Don't eat too much too late in the evening. Don't eat too heavy food late in the evening either. And keep it cool in the room. Keep the temperature down. And keep track of what keeps you awake. If you tend to lay awake in your bed at night thinking about stuff, keep track of what it is you think about that makes you not being able to go to sleep. And maybe when you kept track of it, you will find a pattern in what it is that you think about, and then you can solve these problems or ask someone to help you solve them. And nap to pay off debt. There's something called a sleep debt, and that's basically a debt of sleep that you owe to your body. If you, for example, you miss 3 hours sleep, if you miss 1 hour each night for 3 nights, you have missed 3 hours, and those 3 hours you have to pay back. Your body remembers. And lastly, visualization. If you're one of those who have a hard time falling asleep at night because you lay awake in your bed thinking about stuff. Could be of use to you to visualize a calm scene. A visualization means att föreställa sig, föreställning. So what I'm saying here is that to relax in the evening, you could just close your eyes and pretend that you're, I don't know, floating away on a flying carpet, or you're at a beach, a very nice beach in a warm country, just relaxing, and soon you'll drift off into dreamland. Sleep well, and I'll see you in school, everyone.